Sobo, I'm not you.com.
Yeah, I got it. Look, you like the way I play the cards I'm dealt, huh? You like how I came up and stayed myself, huh?
Yo, what's it take to dominate your sport? You know there's over 7.5 million high school athletes in the USA. 7.5 million. So what are you going to do to take your game to the next level? How are you going to get to the next level? How are you going to go from here to there? 7.5 million athletes. Let's say you're one of the 2% of athletes that actually get a D1 scholarship. 2% of those 7.5 million ever get scholarships. Of those 2%, of all of those college athletes that get scholarships, only 8% get drafted to the MLB, 1.6% get to the NFL, 1.2% get to the NBA, and only 1.4% get to play professional soccer. See, everybody's got dreams and goals, but the fact is 99% of people never get there. So if you're here, you're the type of athlete that thinks like this. You hear those stats, and you don't want to hear about the people who didn't make it. You want to hear about the ones that did. What did they do? You have the mindset, the attitude of I'm not you, meaning I'm willing to do things that you're not willing to do. Because of that, I want to show you. I'm going to show you the 5 reasons why your favorite player dominates. I'm going to show you the recipe, the 5 elements that it takes to get from where you are to actually where you want to be. So if you want to dominate, I want to show you how in these 5 reasons. I've studied, I've read about, I've played with some of the greatest athletes in the world. I've played with them. I've practiced with them. I've caught passes from them. I played 2 years in the NFL. I want to show you the things that I learned. I want to show you. And not only that, I'm going to show you some things that I didn't even know when I was playing. Things that would have helped me tremendously. Things that I can look back with hindsight and say, this is what it took. This is what I could have done. But I want to show you so you can learn those things now to take your game to the next level. All right? So let me show you those 5 things. Starting with reason number 1. All right, reason number 1 is they have a dominant mindset. Now, to have a dominant mindset means you have unshakable belief in yourself. You bet on yourself. It means you have iron-like confidence. It can't be broken. It means you exude confidence when others are weak and rattled. It means you have a relentless, aggressive approach to your sport. It means you have high belief. You think of yourself highly. Athletes that have a dominant mindset, they don't make excuses. They don't make excuses. They have a results-oriented approach. So they're interested in results, and they don't make excuses for why they don't get them. They set high goals, and then they go about reaching them, and it's all because of their dominant mindset. You look at an athlete like Floyd Money Mayweather, 48-0, unbeaten. He's never even felt what it's like to lose. There's a quote from him that I love. He said, "I'm one of the chosen ones. I'm the best. There's nobody out there better than me." Dominant mindset. So what type of mindset do you have? Do you have that type of belief in your abilities? That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, why your favorite athlete dominates, is they have bulletproof habits. Let me tell you what a habit is. A habit is anything that you think or do so often, so regularly, so consistently that you no longer have to think about it. It's habit. It's automatic. It's automatic. So dominant players make habits of everything worth doing as an athlete. So are you taking care of the fundamentals? Do you get up every single morning at the same time? Do you work out every single day? Do you do some sort of physical activity that relates to you dominating your sport every single day, no matter how mundane it is? Dominant players watch film. Dominant players study their opponent. They have the habit of doing that. Dominant players are always prepared. Peyton Manning has been known to watch every single game film of his opponents leading up to a game, even preseason games. He'll check the weather reports. We're talking about over-prepared. Dominant players have bulletproof habits. If you took an inventory of all the things that you do regularly, the things that you think and do, what would those things be? More bulletproof habits of dominant players, they're constantly evaluating themselves. They look and seek out criticism. They're watching game film. They're analyzing themselves. They don't take things personal when mistakes are pointed out to them. They have the habit of talking to themselves in an uplifting and positive way. They have dominant, bulletproof habits. Reason number 3 why your favorite athlete dominates is they have uncompromising visions. Uncompromising visions. That means they set their sights really, really high, and they don't bend on those. They're not flexible in terms of where they want to go. They have their visions detailed and etched out clearly and in vivid detail. And they're not scared to announce those visions. So a lot of athletes I meet, a lot of young athletes especially, when you ask them what they want, what's their ultimate vision, a lot of times they get nervous, they get scared. They're not able to say exactly what their vision is. If you're going to be a dominant athlete, you've got to have an uncompromising vision. And that vision's got to be clear. It's got to be etched out in clear detail. You think about a player like LeBron James. When he went to the Miami Heat, a lot of people laughed when he said he wanted to win like 8 rings. LeBron James wasn't laughing. He actually wanted to do that. He actually had a vision of doing that. Now, that's the reason why he ended up winning 2 championships, while most people walk away from their career with none, and he's about to get a 3rd. You got to have an uncompromising vision, and you got to stand by it. You got to stand by it. And dominant athletes are not afraid to think big. They set their dreams high from the jump. So it doesn't matter. You determine what you want, and then you aggressively go after it. You don't look at your circumstances and let that dictate what your vision is going to be. You set the vision, and then you say, what do I got to do to get there? That's reason number 3, uncompromising vision. Reason number 4, why your favorite athlete dominates, and if you ever even want to sniff the next level, you're going to have this too, and that's an aggressive strategy. Key word, aggressive. Aggressive strategy. So dominant players don't just think big, they follow it up with big-time action, aggressive action. Every single thing that they do is in direct alignment with their ultimate goals and their ultimate vision. So a strategy is just simply a way of doing something. A set of actions that have to do with your ultimate goal. So do you have a strategy? Do you have your plan? Do you have a master plan? Do you have a blueprint to your ultimate destination? If you don't, you're selling yourself short and you're never going to get the results that you want. You've got to have an aggressive strategy. And you got to be like a lion who's attacking his prey. You got to attack your goals with viciousness, with tenacity. And that comes from having an aggressive strategy. A lot of athletes I meet, a lot of them you talk to, and they're sort of into doing a lot of things, doing a lot of random things that don't really have much to do with where they're ultimately trying to go. They're sort of doing a bunch of things randomly and there's no strategy to it. Aggressive athletes, dominant athletes, every single action that they do in direct alignment with where they're ultimately trying to go. They're very efficient. And when they move, they strike. You look at Kobe Bryant when he came out the NBA, or better yet, Eli Manning when he got drafted. The Chargers wanted to take him. He said, no, I'm not playing for the Chargers. I want to go to the New York Giants. Now, a lot of people criticized him and said, X, Y, and Z, he's pouting, he's a baby. But look where he's at now. He's got 2 championships. Phillip Rivers has 0. If you want to dominate, you got to have an aggressive strategy. 1 through 4. So where do you stack up so far? Where do you stack up? What type of mindset do you got? What type of belief do you have in yourself? What are your habits? What do you do every day? If you had to take inventory of every single activity that you did every single day for the last week, would it reflect what you say your goals are? Do you even have a vision? If I ask you to tell me exactly where you see yourself in 5, 10 years, at the end of 1 year, are you able to etch that out in vivid detail? Do you have a plan on how to do this? Or are you just going to wing it and sort of see what happens like most people do? So you can have 1 through 4 right now. But if you don't have this last one, I promise you, you won't get ultimately to where you want to go. And if you do get there, it won't last long. Reason number 5 is absolutely the most important element of dominant players. This is the most important thing that makes them dominate. And if you are going to dominate, you've got to have this one. So, reason number 5, expert coaches and mentors. Every student needs a teacher. You've got to have somebody watching you, showing you the angles that you can't see. In a football game, you got the coaches in the skybox. They're able to see that safety creeping. And it's that reason that quarterback's able to throw a touchdown instead of an interception. Coaches can see things that you can't see. They're able to guide you. They have the experience. They have the wealth of knowledge that can maybe show you one little insight that can take you from here to there. Any athlete killing it right now, they always have expert coaches and mentors. And we're talking about people actually showing them the way. Kobe Bryant had Tim Grover, had Phil Jackson. Kevin Durant has Justin Zormello. We're talking about a mentor, somebody that could actually show you the ropes. One of the top NFL agents in this year's NFL draft said that easily over 90% of current NFL players have paid coaches or mentors that work with them in the offseason. That's over 90%. If you're going to take your game to the next level, you've got to have expert level coaching and mentorship. You know what it takes to dominate. So where do you stack up? Where are your weaknesses? Where are your strengths? What do you need in order to get to the next step? Chances are, if you're watching this, man, I know you're probably tired of people telling you to be realistic. I used to hate that when I was a young athlete. Be realistic. You got big time dreams and goals. You need to know how. High school and college sports are actually getting more competitive than ever. You got kids getting bigger, stronger, faster. They got training, they got coaching. So what are you going to do in order to get your edge? How are you going to get your edge? What's going to set you apart? Or are you just going to wait? Your time is valuable. There's way too much at stake for you to wait around. You got to take action. You got to be aggressive in going after your dreams and your goals. It's a quote I really like that says, everybody's got to suffer. You got to either suffer the pain of regret or the pain of discipline. So the pain of discipline means, you got to put in that work. You got to grind. Or you cannot do that, and you can suffer the pain of regret. And trust me, it's painful. You all got to make a decision. If you want to be great at something, you've got to pay a price. You got to be willing to put in the work. And it's not easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It's actually a lot simpler than you think. What's it going to cost you to take no action? What are you going to think, 10 years from now when you wish you would have done something else? You wish you would have taken some action, but you didn't. You just sat around talking about it. So if you are right now wanting to take your game to the next level, you got to act. You got to do something. This is a quote from Kobe Bryant. I love this quote. He said this in his documentary called Muse. Kobe Bryant, 5-time NBA champion, one of the greatest scorers of all time, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He said this. He said, if you want to be great at something, there is a choice you have to make. We can all be masters at our craft, but you have to make that choice. There are inherent sacrifices that come along with that. There are sacrifices that come along with making that decision. I believe in you. I believe in you. So I believe you have way more in you than you even know. I believe in your potential. But potential, that's dust. That ain't nothing. You gotta take action if you want to bring it out. So if you're gonna take your game to the next level, you gotta make a choice. You gotta make a decision. You're ready to take your game to the next level. If you actually really want to dominate, you want to have a dominant mindset, you want to get some bulletproof habits, you want to know how to set up a vision, you want to actually get your vision clear, etch it out in vivid detail, you want to come up with a strategy, an actual plan for how to get there, then let me be your coach. Let me be your mentor. I'm going to show you everything I know about what it takes to dominate. I've gone places in my career. I've played with some of the best athletes in the world. Played for the New Orleans. I went from the bottom of the roster to starting in week 4 for the New Orleans Saints. I went from being a walk-on at Oregon State to ended up getting a scholarship at Portland State and going on to be an All-American. I also know what it's like to fail. I know what it's like to have your whole dreams ripped from you. Season-ending injuries, fear, lack of confidence, self-doubt. I know about all of that, and I want to show you guys how to break through that. I want to be the mentor and coach that I never had when I was your age. So if you're willing to do that, if you're ready to do that, enter your email and become part of the squad. I'm going to show you the habits. I'm going to show you the mindset. I'm going to show you the strategies and the systems that you need to implement in your life in order to start taking your game to the next level. Hey, it's a big time commitment, but I know you can do it. I know it. It's a big time commitment, but I know you can do it. All you got to do, enter your email and get part of the squad.
You like how I go hard and never fail, huh? You like how I stay down and lift the world up? I sold out, judging by the sales, huh? I'm a heavyweight, judging by the scales, huh?